Hey guys, how are you? We're going to be talking in this video, we're going to be moving from the narrative leadership that we've been talking about in the last videos into more of a performance leadership. So we're going to start going into an action mode, okay? So in the past, in the last videos, I've been talking about how on resilience, how we were reacting to the adversity that was presented. And then I also talk at some point about scenarios, how we should have the scenarios. And I talk about the vision, where do we want to be? And that way we can bring that future into present time so I know what I need to be working on. When I do those lines, those timelines in the ideas, in the concepts, in the vision, that should be very tangible. Remember, I talk about it. Then the idea of that is that now I start creating some actions. And those actions have to be on a weekly basis. In other words, you have to have a weekly plan. What are you trying to accomplish this week? Write it down and commit to it. Be accountable for it. You should be able to make it, okay? And there's going to be setbacks in the week. That's fine. That's why we're learning to be also resilient. So there's nothing is going to be as big as what we lived a few weeks ago. So yes, setbacks, we just get up and we keep going. We have to be working on a weekly basis on our goals. So number one, you start your week, you define what are the goals of the week. Number two, lots of creativity. We need to really get our mind in a creativity thinking, okay? It's going to become one of our most valuable tools that we have. So let's get into that creativity mode. Let's start looking at something. And one of the things that can help you do that is to actually draw your customer journey. So in your business, you should have a journey defined in how you contact, how you create a new customer, and how that customer finds you and then goes through the process until it actually becomes your client, until it actually becomes, or until he makes or she makes the decision to acquire your product or your service. So I need you to identify that journey so you can see what actually had changed in the journey, because there's going to be things that had changed and there are things that probably didn't change or probably won't change. So those will stay the same, but there are things that are going to change. And in that change of the customer journey, that's where we adapt. So if we were doing something in the office, because that's the way it has to do, can we convert that into a video conference? Can we convert that into some other ways of interaction? Creativity is going to help you. Believe me, I have seen it in the last 2 weeks. There is lots of creativity going on. If you need a session just to bounce idea, call me. Number two, once you have that, another point that is very important, I need you to be very mindful of this, is your phone calls. Okay, every single phone call, every conversation, every communication you're business-wise that you're having should be planned, should have a strategy. You should know what to say and what you're trying to accomplish. And if you're negotiating, you should figure it out. What's the best deal I can get out of my phone call? What's the worst deal, or what's something in the middle? And work through those three. If you try to improvise, most likely you're going to get your worst case scenario. Write it down, identify them, and study your dialogue. Study what you're going to say, how you're going to say, practice it, and I guarantee you're going to become more effective in that. As far as possible, the more you can, try to make, especially with clients, instead of a phone call, a video conference. The fact that we need to be seeing each other, it allows for a better conversation, it allows for a better interaction, and for better results. So the more you do this, the more you get into the habit of utilizing video conference to do business, the more familiar you're going to become with it, and the more comfortable you're going to be with it, and you're going to see really good results. Concentrate on selling what you have on your inventory. Okay, let's get rid of our inventory first. There's a lot of cash. If we have an inventory, there's a lot of cash in that inventory that we need to turn around. So let's do that. Let's look at that inventory. Let's create a narrative. Let's create a rhetoric around it, and let's just start calling clients and let's try to get rid of that inventory. That will be cash in, and we need that. And then I said this, but your short-term goals. Right now, one of the best things that we can do on performance leadership is to have very short-term goals. When I say very short-term goals, a long-term goal in these short-term goals is weekly. So I want daily goals, I want every other day goals, and I want the weekly goal. What's going to be my weekly goal? How do I know that? Start creating your own forms of measurement, your goals, and celebrate success. You're always going to hear me say that. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Every single step that you take forward is a step towards your ultimate goal, your vision, and your mission. I hope this video helps, and I will see you soon. Thank you.